Alright, freelancers, welcome to the Colossus. Now, the Colossus is going to be your tank. Pretty much no way about it. It's going to be very physical. It's got a physical shield, no energy shield at all. It's going to be doing its melee is going to be basically just an impact detonator. That's all it is just a heavy smash. And then even its combo effect is going to be an explosion to nearby enemies. So when you get a combo, it's going to just explode and do more damage in the area. So no auras or effects or anything like that. It's definitely going to be its explosion. Big damage. Apparently I'm in the shadows right now, so that's fine. I'll turn around so you guys can see the guy. But it is a fun Javelin. Just all depends on your playstyle. So I'm going to cover each of these separately as I have. So I don't know what order these are going to go up, but you guys will see these in kind of the order as I finish them. But you're going to have an ordnance launcher, so able to launch different things out there. Detonators and primers in there. Heavy assault launcher, also detonators and primers, a couple that are just damage. That's kind of how some of those go. Melee being a heavy smash. Your ultimate is amazing. This is probably one of the coolest ones. It's like firing a small nuke at something. The explosion is insane. You get about 3 shots, maybe 4 if you fire them quick. But I think it's really supposed to be 2 to 3. And then your combo effect is going to be that AoE explosion. So if I set something on fire, like with a flamethrower, for example, then I'm able to let somebody else come in, get a combo, let that combo explosion go pretty crazy. So flamethrower, for example, is a prime one. That's one of the first ones you'll see me cover. It's a primer. You're in the mix in the fight, just throw flame on everything. If you get it primed up enough, you know, say you've got an interceptor in your team. They come through, and their melee, their bladed daggers, it's an impact detonator. They come in, smash everything up right behind you. So this is definitely going to be like the center of the team. Now, just like any tank, picture a warrior in an RPG, picture anything like that where you're going to be the one who taunts. That is one thing this actually has as well. It's called the battle cry. You're actually going to pull the attention of enemies to you. Now, most other classes probably don't want that. The Storm, especially the Interceptor, they don't have the health for it. The Ranger's kind of multifaceted. It's kind of the commando in between. But that battle cry means, look at me. Here we go. Let's do this. You've also got a shield pulse. A pulse that's going to give a 20% shield bonus to, I think it's 20%, to your allies in the nearby area. So if you're like, hey, shield pulse ready, everybody kind of get close, pop it, and then they can go back out and fight. So it's a way to give them some extra health for a little while. And help out your allies or yourself in a tough spot, depending, because you're going to be the one taking all that damage. Pop that shield pulse, you can do that as well. So the Colossus is a really cool one because, again, they all feel very unique, but the shield being physical is something you just straight up see in front of you. You pop out this giant shield like you're running in front of you with a giant just wall. It's like a riot shield, basically, but the size of this small mech. So it's pretty cool. So the intro there pretty much covers most of it. It does not have access to ice, so it will have access to fire, lightning, and acid. And then, of course, it's going to have some impact abilities and things like that, as many of them do. But it does not have anything ice-related, so it's not going to be freezing anything. Again, big physical explosions, damage, that's what it's for. So we're going to go through each of the abilities. I'll wrap it up with kind of an overview on the character screen again at the end. But I'll give you guys a quick little preview of each ability so you can see what it's like, and then potentially some gameplay, and then wrap it up in the end. I'll just do gameplay of either a world event or something like that, so you can just kind of see it in action, which is what I know most people are kind of going for. When it's in action, it's going to look a little different. So I can show you guys abilities over and over, but the actual just gameplay of how to play, where to cover, things like that, we'll see how it goes. So here come the abilities and timestamps. Again, you guys can see those down at the bottom. If you want to skip ahead or look at certain ones, those will be down in the description below. Remember, if you're on your phone, click on the name of the video. It'll have that little drop-down arrow, and you'll see the description in there. So let's get to the abilities. All right, so my first ability is going to be Flamethrower. Pretty obvious, but I've got these guys up here, a couple brutes. Now, here's my shield, physical shield. I can walk up. They may know I'm here. They may not. But then once you get close enough, they're ready, and I can start setting them on fire, which is definitely a thing that's going to do quite a bit of damage to these guys, and that's pretty good damage alone. So that's one thing. Now, the other thing the flamethrower is going to do is prime something. So if I am able to set him on fire for a little bit and not actually kill him, and of course there are some server issues, so things do kind of come and go in teleporting, but that's the idea, is it's a flamethrower. Now, I'm not going to set the grass on fire, unfortunately. I don't think there's world destruction. But that's your idea. It's not the longest range in the world. It's not as far as you think, actually. It looks farther from another character, but it's not that far. But again, pop at your physical shield and let's start running. So you might have some scorpions over here. You can do this for quite a while. Run in, you've got your cover as you're headed towards something. And then again, we can start setting stuff on fire, shading that effect. And again, it's pretty effective in itself, but if you have bigger enemies that you can sit there and cook, as you guys notice how much, like I've got there, I've got, you know, 100 out of 40, like 40 out of 100 used. So I've got a pretty good chunk that I can use for a while. And it'll go up in tiers, so I've got 100, I'm up to 60 now, so I can start using that. So if you just run around, use that, pop your shield, you can pop your shield in and out even as you sprint. Now the nice thing about running with your shield, if you're running in here, you can actually run straight at them and do physical damage. Now you notice it's going to actually have a health bar, but again the fire damage against especially these physical bugs is going to be pretty effective. So fire is one of those things, it lasts a while, you have a ton of ammo, and this is your deal, you're in the mix. If you can keep killing enemies, getting some health packs back, running through, doing things quite effectively. So that's the Flamethrower. Hopefully that explains it. Notice you can pop your Flamethrower, pop your shield, take your damage, go try and get your health packs, turn back around, pop some fire, and you're good. And that's the thing, you are going to want to continually be killing enemies or looking for those health packs, because that's going to be beneficial to survive pretty much everything that's coming at you. So as I said, not the biggest range, but, you know, a little bit of range on it. And Flamethrower is check. Alright, the next ability I'm going to show is the High Explosive Mortar. Now this is going to be a blast detonator, so if something has been primed by somebody else, say frozen by a storm for example, you're going to go ahead and find your target, lock him on with your mortar, and then when it lands, it's going to hit pretty hard. So, that didn't seem that hard, but these guys are actually shelled on the top. So that's one of those things about these enemies that is a little different. So if I find a different one, I'll try and hit a little harder. But it should be back up again. See if I can get it slightly different angle, maybe, perhaps, over on its backside, possibly. But again, still hitting about 185. Flamethrower here might keep them at bay, actually. So I've got my physical shield. Might have them covered in acid. These guys are actually pretty physical, so the fire against the bugs is actually going to be a really good thing to use. So again, depends on what your fight's going to be. Are you going into a stronghold with a bunch of fire? Or are you going to be supporting, you know, dropping your ordnance on something that's going to be frozen? It depends on your team makeup as well. So if I have a bunch of storms that are up top and they're running frost, then I'm going to probably run that ordnance so I can just explode things and detonate them. So I'm going to go find some more ads and then I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright, so here's a prime target for a mortar. So you got these brutes down below. Should be able to get them launched out and fired. If I can target it about right. And that's going to hit for 1,000 damage on top. So 2 of those and they're pretty much toast. Now the Flamethrower doesn't quite have the range to get down there. As you guys can see, I'm not really able to touch them. But I can switch over to my minigun, start working these guys down. And then if they do get up top, go ahead and finish them off with another mortar. Again, pretty big blast damage. Definitely a detonator. A nice combo to set up depending on what you're running. Now here again, another setup for a mortar shot. Pretty big explosion, lots of ads that you can get to, and that's going to kind of be your thing. So again, the Flamethrower, you've got your shield, physical just like him. So watch the shield blast of that one, or also watch what it's able to do to you. Try to not be on fire. Another mortar blast. There you go. Big groups of flying. That's a flying dead guy. That's terrifying. See, and that physical shield works similar to mine when I've got it up. Takes most of the damage in front. So as he's on fire, he's going to run. A lot of these guys, when they get on fire, will run. And then you can combo them up. There's your combo damage. So that's that big group explosion. Put my shield back up so I can survive. So that's the idea. Prime him up on fire. Combo him up. He's still on fire, which is impressive. I need to try and do that to these guys again. Finish him. See if I can get this guy again on fire. cook in a little bit once he's primed. Then I can try and combo him up with a nice mortar blast. That combo is going to do lots of damage and take him out. So again, your own self combos are going to be nice, but you won't always have your own combos. But if you do, it definitely can work pretty well. And this also is a pretty cool effect of the shield. So just the shield sprint is actually pretty effective at just taking out ads. So that tower is going to be a bit of a problem. See if I can prime it up here with this thing. And then see if I can... Come on. I'm trying to take that physical damage. Might need even shield blast here. Take a little bit more health. Get my shield back out. And see if I can finish it up with a flamethrower. Pretty effective against it, actually. Here you go. Give me some ammo, some health. See, and it's just going to take the shot all day. But I can cook him pretty fast with that flamethrower. Pretty powerful. Same thing here. See if I can cook him on fire a little bit. Fire is going to burn through that shield. Definitely cook him up. And then if I can mortar him, that combo is going to work really well. Now I've got ads on both sides, but if I can sprint these guys, I can just start bashing through the little guys. This is a pretty cool thing. Just running for the little ads. Oh, you're a little physical dude? Yep, just keep taking it. And that is a pretty crazy ability of this thing. Still got a decent amount of damage. It's not the quickest turning radius, but if I want to run back through, more shield bashing. And just start meleeing these guys and just smashing them around. That's a cool thing that no other class can do. This physical shield, run through, turn back around. It's got the ability to take a decent amount of damage straight up in front. And if you get pinched and you can't run, you might have to peek out and then pull out your flamethrower. So that is your flamethrower and your mortar shot. Alright, next we come to the Firewall Mortar. This will be a primer. So what you're looking to try and do is set up where you guys want it to land. The kind of rectangle will be the direction of the fire. Once it launches out, you will actually set these ads on fire. Now this is your high explosive mortar. I'm not even going to get a chance to fire it because they died. So, but yeah, that firewall lasts for quite a while. You guys can see if you need to hold down an area, if you need to block off a small part of a cave. It's going to be very effective at doing pretty decent sized areas worth of damage and lasts for a pretty good amount of time. Again, same principle here. Say I want to lock down this little middle area here. I've got between these two rocks basically covered. And it's a pretty good wall of fire. If anything's going to have to funnel through there, it's got a good amount to go basically fight against. So it's going to be a very effective crowd control thing, or a very big primer for a group of enemies. Either way, the Firewall Mortar, pretty straightforward, but something that actually is going to be really effective if you can get the placement right, or if you know you've got a lot of ads funneling down a small area or a tunnel or something like that. It's going to be pretty effective. So we can actually see this thing in action. Let's go ahead and put the Firewall Mortar right about here on these guys. Now my goal would be to see if any of them will actually run through it to me, or if not, I can go smash these guys in the face. Now I can run through it and I'll be fine. Big physical damage, still doesn't do anything. And again, if I really want to lock him up, I can put another one right there and just start cooking him. So this Firewall Mortar, very good at keeping things in control. And your shield also fairly effective at holding things back. And it's going to come up pretty frequently. So I can do it again. So he should be on fire. Should take a little bit of damage. Now I'm going to try my other ability. That is my high explosive mortar. So once they've actually been on fire long enough and primed, you should be able to launch this mortar at them. Or they just keep dying, which is not a bad thing. Just means it's very effective. And that will usually knock some people over. Looks like we've got some ads coming down here. See if I can line this up on them. Try and keep this at bay here. I'm going to have a lot of ads coming up that hill. Got to make sure that shield is out a lot. All those guys are burning over there. Firewall, Mortar, very, very effective. And again, just that shield burst. If you need to run through, get some health, whatever you need to do, that shield dash is going to be, again, really effective. Now this is your high explosive mortar blast. And that is just one big blast set up as a detonator. Big amount of damage. If something is primed with fire, for example, whether it's running through, should be pretty effective at what you need to do. But again, bring out that shield, take the damage, run up to what you need. Definitely mess with these guys quite a bit. Bash them around for a little while. And hey, there's some health I can go pick up. Now here is the high explosive mortar. Just one shot, pretty powerful, will be a detonator. And just when it hits, it's going to hit hard. Now you're going to want things primed to be able to take advantage of that. So I can try and firewall these guys. Just right here in front. Let them cook. Should be okay. And then this guy in the back, they're not going to probably run up into this thing. I could even go for a shield burst. Taking the damage, put that thing back up. And then go for a nice, again, explosion up there. Is going to get multiple enemies hurt. Going to go ahead and see if I can prime them up if I knock them down. Keep my damage up here. And try and start cooking these guys. The ones that are on fire, fairly out of it. But again, I can always charge through here. Knock some of these guys around a little bit. Mess up their, you know, lanes. Things of that nature. And then turn back around and go for it again. Again, these guys seem to be a little small. If I do light them on fire, does seem to work pretty well, but he's just going to walk right out of it. But he is taking a good amount of damage. So I'm going to keep that going. Looks like I've got the shotgunner here. And just that charging ability, pretty effective. Still just knocking through. So you guys can tell, wall of fire, pretty effective. Group of enemies, put them on fire, let them cook for a little bit. And if you got something big, your high explosive ordnance launcher will be pretty effective at that. I just love knocking these guys over. It's kind of awesome. So that's my shield pulse. Lets me get a little more damage. I can take the direct shot. Go ahead and set him on fire. See if that'll actually be somebody I can prime. So now he's cooking. He's going to sit there for a little while. Still taking that damage. And then I can get that nice explosion with my high explosive mortar. Put my shield up. Keep it working. Sprint around. Come through the sides. Start busting through. And putting some good work in. Oh. Don't get shot in the back though. It's a good way to get killed. So that again, that is your wall of fire. And then your high explosive mortar. And those two abilities are good. Don't forget about your shield blast. It may save your butt sometimes. Alright, the next pair of abilities that we're going to look at is the shot coil for a primer and then the railgun for your detonator. So the shot coil is going to be lightning. And this one is going to be like this. So let's see what this shot coil does. Alright, so we'll come in here. That's one more. So you're actually going to damage enemies around you as a primer. And then you can actually rail cannon them as a detonator. So that is your kind of area of effect survival. Wow, that is powerful. That is it. This is on hard, and this is just the rail cannon even without a detonator. But this is just the rail cannon. It's level 19. It is a pretty high, rare one. When I get in between, so drop that down, go for the big shot. It takes 2. That thing hits for 3,000 damage. That is crazy. So that rail cannon is extremely powerful, just as you would figure a rail cannon to do an impact detonator. So that's a good way if you could ever prime a boss or a larger enemy, for example, with a lot of frost or anything from people around, that you're going to be able to get a lot of damage in a single shot on that one enemy type. So here's going to be a test. I'm going to put up the shield. I'm going to sprint. And then I'm going to do my coil over the top. So this basically is just your small ad clearing. You guys can kind of get the idea here. Now, this is probably going to be overkill. A couple of these guys will drop a little health. And as you kill a few more, we'll bring them up over here. But again, as we have all these ads, we're going to run through here with this shot coil. Try and electrify a lot of these guys. It does seem to work pretty damn well. And if you got anybody left over, well, you can just blow the crap out of them with a rail cannon, which is overkill, to say the least. Let's keep smashing you. How's that go? And then just shot coil, yeah? So yeah, the shot coil is definitely a localized attack. But it is pretty effective on those groups of ads because you're going to be in the mix. I mean, so what's your idea? Grab your shield. Come up here. If anybody gets close, alright, time to shot coil. And again, it just basically is like a stun gun up close. Pretty effective for damage. On groups as well, quite effective. And this guy, that actually for a change hits him hard. And again, if you need to get out of there, you are still able to jump and get around. But again, you're just a little slower at certain things. That's all. Just remember, Colossus, not quite as agile as some things. Use that shield. Come busting through. Smash some of these guys in the face. And that melee is going to be a nice thing as well. Shot coil, hopefully taking out the shield. Or if I just really need to go big. Ow. Don't run into a wall. See if I can get out of here without dying. And again, still getting used to this one just because it's the one I've probably played the least. So I haven't had as much time to experiment with it, so sorry if I'm not as good. Couple little ads and ammo over here. Do have this shotgun. Coming for big boy here. So that shield's saving me there. So much of a shield and so much health. Now that thing hurts hard for him. Now I can sit here and hopefully cook him down pretty effectively. And this is just a way to keep them stunned, not being able to do too much. I'll do that battle cry so he's forced to attack me right now, which is good because I can actually keep him at bay. So he doesn't have a choice. He has to attack me. Now I'm frozen. That's one of the worst things for a Colossus. I'll definitely say that. Come on, get out of this. I'm gonna die probably, so this is fun. Oh man, I am still alive. I don't even know how. That Lancer has so much health. So run around. I think that Lancer is gonna get a nice shot of my ultimate here. So how do you feel about this, big boy? That's one. So much of a shield. That's two. That's three. Now, if I can hit him with something else, maybe. Mortar blast. Now I can try and work on him with my electricity. Keep that damage going. Switch weapons and keep the minigun. Try and finish him up. So these shields are definitely a bit of a trouble. But he did finally die, thank goodness. And I somehow didn't, which is also good. But yeah, so that is your shot coil. Very localized area of effect damage. And then you've got your high explosive mortar for a detonator that you can fire at pretty good range. Pretty quick, too. Alright, on to the next pair. Alright, Freelancers, so the next set of abilities that we're going to be talking about are the Venom Spitter and then the Lightning Coil. So the Venom Spitter is an acid primer. This is going to be basically just throwing venom on things, so if you guys want to look. So I've got 10 shots. I can actually just launch it out pretty consistently. Get that venom actually out there so I can prime them up. And then the lightning coil is going to be an electric detonator. So again, that's going to be that thing again. If I'm around it, it's just going to work those ads down. So let's go get a group of ads and see what this looks like. So first we're going to be spitting the venom and then running through with the electricity to detonate them. So lot of adds. There we go. Now let's see if we can spit some Venom on some of these guys. We can knock this guy out real quick. Give me a little health there. Alright, let's get some Venom going. Now it's pulses. Continuous pulses as I'm in an area. And it actually goes while I'm firing as well. So it's actually very effective at detonating things if somebody's above, like, priming a bunch of stuff. That continual piece is going to be really nice to have. So again here, if I can just bash this dude for a second and prime all these guys up with acid. So get everybody primed, get my shield up, and then once everybody's good, then walk through. And I can put this thing up with my shield. With my shield still striking these guys. Able to run through and get these pulses out as enemies are still around. It's actually pretty effective because I can hold that thing up. Still getting damage on adds. Seems to go about where I'm targeting. Then if I need to pull some out here, get some acid dumped out, which is also pretty powerful. Pop the shield back up. Wait for it to fully charge while my shield takes a bit of a beating, which is what it's there for. And then go ahead and pop this thing back up and let this thing start shocking them. You get 10 shots out of it, so still pretty powerful. You think you're running, you're not, buddy. And then you can finish them up once those shields go down with something physical, something quick. Autocannon, for example. There you go. So let's see if we can get a third run. Another grouping here. These guys are going to be a little more on the elite side. I definitely want to try and... See, the nice thing is I can keep the shield up, keep my defense going, and also keep this lightning shocking these guys, doing what I need to do. Get a nice shield pulse, pop my shield back up. And then there's these moments where you just get overrun and you just are a little slow to reply. So if you got to jump out of dodge, that is okay. Take a second, gather your thoughts, gather your health. If you really need to gather yourself, you just mostly need to get out of combat. Give you a second. A couple of these guys do still really want to follow me. Don't really have a dodge or an evade, but I do have my giant shield, so I can go sprinting at these guys. Try and knock a couple of them down. And again, pop my shield up here. And just have that spark generation going while I work the adds, stay in cover. Maybe pick off a few that need it. Now pop the shield back up. And then let's go big boy. Now, no health worries here. Gonna go with our ultimate. The Siege Cannon of Decimation. Direct shots on that guy. See if I can pump out some more damage here with the acid. Start really burning him down. It's actually really effective. And then I have my shot combo. And there's a combo. So it takes a little bit to prime some enemies. Smaller enemies are harder to prime. But that electricity, if it just sits up there active, if they've been primed enough, especially, if you can dump a whole bunch of acid on one thing, that lightning generation when you come pass them through will get a nice combo effect on a lot of adds. So, pretty cool combo there. And again, you can pair all of these together. I'm going to finally finish up with the last two, where these are just damage abilities, no priming, no detonation. So, let's grab those two. Alright, freelancers, so our final abilities are going to be the Flak Cannon, which is an up-close impact shot, and then the Burst Mortar, which is just blast damage in itself. So the Burst Mortar first, you're going to be able to aim this thing, get a nice range on it, and fire it out. And it's going to have a decent little explosion on it as well, so you're going to get some damage. Now the Flak Cannon, it's going to be a little closer. Some of them coming up. And again, right here, these two paired together pretty well. 3 quick shots, nice burst on both. And the Flak Cannon is like a giant shotgun blast. So if something does get up to you, it's a pretty quick finisher. So as usual, we'll probably have some adds over here. So let's go see what we've got. Sprinting through. And again, you can even fly with your shield, which is really cool. So again, here we're going to have the Burst Mortar, which is just going to be your damage setup. And then Shotgun Blast. 1 big shot. 2 big shots. And then finish them up. Gonna have more ads over here. Looks like I've got a buddy this time. Pop the shield up. And again, big blast. Mortar here if I can launch it over the top. Gotta get that priming time. Things do take a little while to charge. Bust a few of these guys out of here. Got an interceptor with me. This is a nice pair because he's going to go physical. So if I had a primer, that would work fairly well. But a big shotgun blast here. Just square to the face. Nothing he can do about it. Interceptor's making this work pretty easier. And again, mortar blast, a group of ads down below. Nice chunk of damage on them. Pop out the shield when I need it. Come back around. Smash these guys a little bit. Oh, it's just such a satisfying sound when you smash these guys. And then again, if I need to, I can turn around. Or if I just want to blow them away with a big shotgun blast, that'll work too. There we go. Now the big guy, he will be around, so definitely make sure you're moving. And this guy, again, lots of health, but hopefully with the physical nature of both of us, we can actually work through him. There's a shield down. Now if I can finish him up, some nice bonus damage. Now that was not a detonator, but still some nice combo damage. That went down a lot quicker with 2 people. So you guys do get the feeling playing with 2 people will be definitely more viable. 2, 3, 4 group and stuff like that, but playing solo is definitely doable. So that is all the abilities. And again, one more time, just so you guys can see it from a nice high range. Let's get up here, let's hover. Pretend you got a giant thing right here. Pull out our rail cannon, line it up. We got shot 1, shot 2, shot 3, and just an explosion, a nice little artillery shell nuke. And again, nice thing about that is you can do it, you know, and you can hover the whole time you do it. All your abilities kind of go in freeze mode when you go in super ultimate, which is really, really nice. Now again, here, if I'm going for that mortar shot, probably better to aim on the ads on the ground. Probably aim for that dude on the ground. Take him out. So we've got a group here. You can fly in with the shield. Try and get that physical knock on him. Those guys are absolutely tearing him apart. That is a storm because he's got the shield forever. So that's how that one went. Alright, so that is pretty much all the abilities for the Colossus. As you guys can see, big flying around lumbering guy. His melee is just a heavy smash. So that's exactly what it is. Just a big smash. Pretty much every time, just a giant smash of the fist. And if you have the shield out and you're running, you can even melee. Just a big, like, you know, hook with that thing. Just a big flying hook. So that's your melee abilities. The smash with the shield out. It's more of a kind of a hooking punch. And, yeah. Little shield pulse. Help out your buddies. Notice how they have that glowing effect like we all do. It's that 33% damage reduction. So that will pretty much wrap up the ability options for you guys. So you guys have seen them all. I'm going to go back, wrap up a quick run through of the abilities, and finish this thing up. So thank you guys for sticking with me. And let's wrap this thing back in Fort Tarsus. All right, everybody. So if you want to see the giant siege cannon, let's go ahead and get it going. So this is going to be the big nuclear bomb. You get usually 3 shots out of it, maybe 4 if you can fire it quick enough. It does seem to be pretty stuck at 3, though. Alright, so again, just to recap on the Colossus, you're going to have your heavy assault launcher and your ordnance launcher. Ordnance launcher will have the following. We have your high explosive mortar. This is your high explosive shell that detonates across a large area, detonates explosive combos. This will be a detonator. Then you have your burst mortar, which is 1 special shell that detonates across a large wide area. Just a damage shot, no primer, no detonator. Then we have your Firewall mortar. Creates a wall of fire that burns enemies last 20 seconds. This will be a primer. Then we've got your Lightning Coil, which is going to be bolts, arc to targets in front of the Colossus, detonates an explosive combo. So your Lightning Coil is the little ball on your back that detonates primed targets. And then your Shock Coil is going to be the powered coil, shocks enemies from a large area. That is, again, your primer to electrify the enemies. For your heavy assault launcher, we've got, let's go find it first. We've got the Siege Artillery Cannon. Fires a high explosive shell, detonates explosive combo, so it is a, again, blast detonator. We've got the Flamethrower, pretty straightforward. Fire primer, start cooking them up, and then you can detonate them. Then we've got the Flak Cannon. Fires a barrage of shells across a wide area, pretty short range, but pretty beastly powerful shot up front. Then we've got the Rail Cannon, which is quite powerful. After a brief charging period, fires a armor-piercing projectile that detonates explosive combo. So it's a detonator with impact, and again, cuts straight through armor pretty heavily. And then finally, we've got the Venom Spitter, sorry. So I can find it real fast. Launches arcing shots of acid at a rate of 200 rounds per minute. Does a pretty good amount of damage, and is also, again, a primer that can be paired up with a combo. So, for example, if I do Venom Splitter as my primer, I can do the Lightning Coil as a detonator or the High Explosive Mortar as a detonator. Just kind of depends on your range and how close into the fight that you're going to be. Support abilities, again, being that Shield Bolt Pulse. I'm sorry, it wasn't 20%. It is 33%. Reduces incoming damage for a little while. Definitely to make sure and save your butt. In your battle cry, mark enemies and forces them to attack the Colossus. So you better be ready to take the damage because it's coming to you. So make sure your shield is full and not on cooldown. Or, you know, it'd be a point where if you battle cry them, they all come to you, pop your super, you're invulnerable during that time. Pretty cool thing. Finally, and it's just a big giant nuke. Your siege cannon is a gigantic nuke blast detonator, kind of insane, which is awesome. And your combo effect is, of course, going to be that AoE explosion. So when you get that combo, an explosion damages nearby enemies. So again, that nice explosion. No ice damage here, but you have your fire, your lightning, and your acid, and lots of blast damage across the board. So that is your Colossus. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. You guys can follow me on Twitch and Twitter. It's Ebontis on both, but right here on YouTube. If you guys did enjoy the video, drop a like below. It helps me out. If you guys have a comment, thoughts about builds, questions about the game, how it felt, I'm happy to answer those. And then, of course, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, I've got a lot more content to come to you guys as the game gets closer to release. So hit subscribe on that channel, hit the alert bell, notifications will come when new videos come out. And thank you guys for just being awesome. We're headed towards 32,000 and still climbing. So have an awesome day, night, evening, weekend, wherever you guys are at. Have a good one.